I just found out that I got hacked. I spent, guess how many hours? Guess how many hours? 4 hours making an instrumental and writing a song, and my mouse started moving on its own. And I started freaking out and I was like, oh my gosh, what if they know where I live? But then I looked it up and they only, wait, why am I saying this on YouTube? What if the person's watching? What if they watch my YouTube videos? What if they know that I post from my computer? Okay, I need to stop. Today we're going to talk about why you don't need a man, because girl, you don't. You don't need a man right now. Maybe you want a man. That's okay. I do too. I'm going to share something that I speak. A few nights ago, I was feeling very down, okay? And I was about to go to bed. And for some reason, I was really in my feels. And of course, I was listening to music because I always listen to music at like the late hours of night. I don't really know what it is. And I was laying in my bed and I was like, dang, dude, I feel so alone. I feel so lonely. And I know I have friends. I have some really great friends. Most of them are for dance. That's fine. But they're literal sisters to me, okay? Shout out. But I was like, why do I still feel so alone? Like, I almost feel like I kind of have to fake a lot of, like, my feelings of happiness when I'm out with people, because I still feel so alone even when I'm with those people. I wasn't even like intentionally praying. I was kind of just like thinking this, but I'm pretty sure like my subconscious was like talking to God. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, do you ever have those like cry sessions where like you start crying about one thing, but then you start crying about like a million other things at the same time? That's exactly how it was for me that one treacherous night a few nights ago. I started crying about how my faith was like, I've been having a lot of trouble recently in the Catholic faith, to like believe and to like follow all the rules and be perfect, and that is very, very scrupulous and I need to not do that. But I was basically just like, yo God, like, I don't know what to do right now, because I don't want to make my faith a chore. I don't want it to feel like it's something that I'm forcing myself to do out of pity or like habit. I want it to be something like from my heart, I just want it to be something that I genuinely enjoy. Like, I don't want to hate saying my rosary. I don't want to hate reading the Bible every morning. I don't want to hate like silence, like going to adoration and having to sit in silence. That's something I really struggle with. And I don't know, like just shutting up for a minute is really hard for me. I've never really felt fully on fire for God. And so I've struggled a lot with routine and like getting into my word. Anyways, that's kind of the separate part of it. But the main reason why I was crying was because I was like, I don't even want a significant other right now. I just want a friend. I just want someone to talk to. I just want to have a decent conversation with someone that isn't fully focused on them or fully focused on me. I just want to have like an equal conversation. I had this thought in my head, and I'm pretty sure it was the Holy Spirit, because I was bawling my eyeballs out. I don't know. There were so many other things happening. Like I was like, oh my gosh, my parents are gonna die one day, and then I'm gonna die one day, and crying about a bunch of different things. But kind of the main overall was, I'm so alone, and I want someone to talk to that isn't full of themselves or wants to turn themselves into the victim in every conversation I have. So I'm not referencing a specific person. I'm just saying, as a whole, a lot of the people that I've talked to or had deep conversations with have kind of turned it into like their trauma dumping. And I'm just kind of having to sit there and be the therapist, which I'm okay with. I love doing that. But when I'm like, my head is like full of things, and I don't have the headspace to like take that on, it's just like, and so I say this to say, I had a thought as I was bawling my eyeballs out, and I was like, hey, so you do realize you feel so alone right now and you feel like no one's loving you. But then I realized, I was like, wait, that's how God feels. I'm not like giving back to him as I should be. But I realized, I was like, wow, this must be how he feels. He must be showing me how he feels to teach me a lesson here. And I was like, oh, so I don't need a man. I don't need friends. I need Jesus. I say all that to say that, you know, like, I know a lot of the times when it comes to like desperately wanting a friend, for personal experience, a lot of the times I will just meet someone random and then like trauma dump to try and trauma bond with them. And then they end up feeling bad for me. And then they end up feeling sorry for me and stay out of pity rather than staying in the friendship to have a friendship and have that be fruitful. I'm grasping onto them, but they're like, ew, you're kind of disgusting. You have a past. Oh, you have trauma? Ew. I'm not saying that like venting to your friends is a bad thing. But I am saying is venting to a random person that you don't know, that you haven't known for at least like 8 months. Don't do it, because then they're going to use that against you. They're going to use that information. Let's say you opened up about your mental health, or that you were like insecure about something, whatever. When it comes to like a relationship, if you're trying, let's say you meet this guy, and you tell him the first week that you're dating or, you know, talking, whatever, that you're really insecure about the pimple on your face. Okay, let's just it can be anything, but let's just call it that. If you're really insecure about the pimple on your face, the what I've learned from experience talking to any male ever is they will take that and be like, oh no, you're beautiful though, that I love that about you, it makes you so beautiful, you don't need to worry about that, you shouldn't be insecure, you're so beautiful. But when you try to get out of the situation or don't want to pursue the relationship anymore, they're going to turn that into, oh, well, you have the pimples on your face though, I don't know, you're ugly anyways, like you smell bad, you look ugly, Loki have rugged terrain-esque skin, like it's just so, I don't get it. I don't get what's up with the male species this day, the male population. I don't know how to word that. I don't know what's up with them. Oh, they're acting so weird. But yeah, you don't need a man. You need Jesus. Trust. Because if you constantly look for validation in men, you're never gonna get satisfied. You're just gonna get beaten down and broken to the ground. Clock it. It doesn't matter. For me, whenever I talk to God, I am not one to have a formal prayer. I'm not one to like come into some like perfect state and like format my words perfectly. I literally am kind of just talk to him like yo bro, what's good, like not like that, you know, okay, you get what I mean, I just talk to him like I would my earthly father, you know, like obviously he's in heaven, but you know, I just talk very casually, because if I were to like format my words like perfectly, I would probably not want to pray anymore, because that takes a lot of energy, and a lot of the times when I'm praying it's later at night, so, and I'm at my bed and I'm like, Jesus, I had a bad day today. It's still from the heart, still from the soul, and I still mean everything I say. But yeah, if you think you need a man right now, trust me, you don't. Well, do you want a man? Yeah, that's okay to want a man's, okay? You can want a man's. I know that y'all are probably like, Addie, who the frick are you to tell me this? I don't know. You don't have to listen to me. But I would like you to. Don't listen to me, listen to Jesus. Listen to the Bible. Listen to Caleb. I don't know. But yeah, the sad thing about relationships these days is that we all know this. Hookup culture is a thing, and a guy is not gonna add you on Snapchat on quick ads to marry you one day. Quick ads are not yeah, no, that's not nice. I really don't understand the hype with Snapchat, my Snap score I think is like 4,000 something. I'm not saying that to flex it. I'm just genuinely saying, like, I find it genuinely exhausting to snap even my friends. Like, obviously, if like we're joking or like something funny, like whatever. But I can't imagine the exhaustion that some people may experience from quick adding just a bunch of guys that you don't even know, and just snapping them. And a lot of them are just sending pictures of their dog. No one wants to, well, maybe you do want to see that. That's not me. But why? But why are we doing that? Because Snapchat is evil, bro. I swear. I'm not one of those people that would usually be like, this is demonic. But genuinely, Snapchat, I don't like it. Also, like, I get the whole thing. I don't know first of all, I don't know what is up with Snapchat ads, but if I go view someone's story and I like click off, there are the sussest things on there I think I've ever seen. But yes, hookup culture, Snapchat culture, modern dating in general is just so screwed up. And it makes us think that we need to be like that in order to find someone. Yeah, the sad thing is that this generation, specifically Gen Z, has turned being basically a bop. I know that like bop has a lot of different definitions, but yeah, just watch out, gang. Like, I know that modern dating is really, really hard because it's like, all right, if you aren't a bop and you don't want to freak 24/7, you don't get to have a boyfriend. Yeah, that's really unfair, and it really sucks for us ladies out here that actually have morals. The Lord has things in store for us that we don't even know of. We probably can't even fathom in our little brains that we have. So just know that like God still has a plan for us. We literally were not made to understand it because it's supposed to be a surprise. That's kind of exciting, guys. It's kind of exciting. My phone's about to die. It's kind of exciting because it's like a mystery. So don't go out searching for a man because you're not gonna find anyone that genuinely wants you for your personality or your faith. You know, peer pressure exists. I have not been to a single party and I never plan to go to one unless I am physically kidnapped, unless someone kidnaps me from my home and like puts me on anesthesia and drags me to one. I do not plan to go to any party of any sort. I've been invited to a few, that isn't two, and didn't want to go to either of them because I've seen photos of what happens there. I've seen videos of what happens there, and some may call me lame, but I don't want to get hammered. You're gonna go... Why am I drooling? I'm gonna go get hammered, smoke some weed, maybe hook up with a few guys, you know, what brings you the zing? And then the next day, you're gonna roll up to church, put on your little veil, fold your hands, and act like some perfect holy person. Babe, that's not how it works. And that's on Jesus. Innocent fun exists. It's not, you know, it's not gonna be going to take Jello shots with your friends at the park. We also have to remember that men mature like 2 times slower than women do. So if you are, let's say you're 17 years old, a 17-year-old male is probably still going to act like they're 12 years old. See, if you are 13 years old, the 13-year-old male in your life is probably going to act like he's 9 years old. See, it just doesn't make sense. Don't accept the bare minimum. Accept the bare maximum. Listen, if your personality scares off someone, let it scare them off. Okay? Let it scare them off. What do you want to... You want to scare them, but you want to keep them around, but have them silently judge you? Why is every girl group like that? Don't be in a friend group that hates you guys. Like, my realization after getting out of one of those situations was that if you are constantly surrounded by people that all hate each other, hate you, how do you expect not to hate yourself? Because you have all of this commotion around you Everyone's judging you. Everyone thinks you're lame. Everyone thinks you're stupid. How do you expect to not be able to think that about yourself? Unless you were like perfect, you would never be able to get past that, you know? Speaking from experience here, I've been recently having some really crazy thoughts and like, oh my gosh, like death is gonna happen. Like people are gonna... I don't even want to talk about it. It's scary. Anyways, got so off topic. One thing that I used to never be able to understand is how people stay in toxic relationships, because I'm like, just leave. I was like, girl, you have 2 feet. You can just... When you're dealing with a passive aggressive person, that is actually so hard, because genuinely you'll be so scared. You're like, how are they gonna react to that? Like, and it could affect a lot of your life because they have connections. They know the same people as you do. If you're dealing with a passive aggressive person, if you are in a relationship right now and you're like, Addie, I don't want to be in a relationship, but you are in a relationship and you're like, get me out, whether that's if they're because they're chopped or if they speak to you like you're an animal, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm just kidding. I would not do that. In my opinion, if you have to break it off with someone, do it in the most respectful way possible. The only hard thing is, I've talked to many people, whether you're breaking off a friendship, whether you're breaking off a actual like serious relationship, the worst thing is if it's really long term. So if you were friends for like 5 years, in a relationship for like 2 years, like even longer than that, like it's gonna be rough. But if you're being emotionally abused, it's worth it, you know? Like it's better to break it off and have them mad at you when you're not together or when you're not friends, rather than have them mad at you while you're together and while you're friends, because then they can access you. They're already really comfortable saying things to you, sometimes doing things to you. So what's stopping them? If you're not together, then if you're not friends, then if you want flowers, buy them for yourself, girl. If you're secure in yourself, you'll buy yourself flowers. Personally, I don't like getting flowers that much because it's kind of embarrassing, honestly. I don't really know why. I don't know what to do when I receive flowers. I don't know what to do when I'm given anything romantically. So guess I'll never learn. Don't be a bop. And don't be... What's the male version of a bop? I guess just another bop. Just don't be a bop. No, you don't need a Huzz. No, you don't need a mans. No, you don't need homeboys. No, you don't need a roster. You just need Jesus. You just need Jesus. And that's such a corny thing to say, but is it? No, it's the truth. So, go crack open your Bible. That's an interesting way to say that.
Hey, so this is me editing this, and all of my storage completely ran out and my videos stopped from here. But what I meant to do here was give you guys a Bible verse. So that Bible verse is Proverbs 13:20. I would suggest going look it up. If you don't even have a Bible, literally just look it up. It's a pretty good verse. It inspired most of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next Saturday.